This show is brought to you by Safety FM.
Take me down to the river where the peace won't run dry. Gather round at the river where my soul comes to life and I come alive. Freedom, freedom,
Program is rated MALSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Finally, show with the balls to call it like it is. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Countdown to audio torture.
The Rated R Safety Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Let the eardrum pain begin.
Forget the corporate bullshit. This is the Rated R Safety Show with your host, Dr. It doesn't matter who the host is.
Oh, yes. It does not matter who the host is. What matters is who the listeners are. It always has. That's how the thing goes. Anyways, how are you? Today's Friday, August the 25th of 2023, day 237th of the year, and only 128 days left to go. I hope everything is good and grand inside of your neck of the woods because, well, a lot of it is important for you to feel good on how things are going. Anyways, we are broadcasting from the Safety FM studios in Orlando, Florida, and coming across the multiverse known as Safety FM and hanging out with our friends and colleagues at that other place.
Radio in USA, Canada, UK.
Yep, hanging out over there, doing the things that we get to do with them because, that's important. As we get to hang out in regards of doing everything. Anyways, we are doing our stuff today as you can come and hang out with us and do all kinds of fun stuff by going to callinradio.com. You can go to the social media platforms and more than likely the stuff will work. I had somebody recently tell me, it just says that it's loading. I mean, I don't know what's going on. I can see it working some. Call in radio, like I said. And then, of course, keep in mind that you can see us on our apps, the Live 365 app, the Radio Big app. You can see us in the Safety FM app, all available in your Google Play stores, also available on the Apple Store, in the App Store. So there you go. You got some stuff on how to take a listen to it. And then if it all gets, down to the nitty gritty, you can listen to us on a podcast. Not in real time, but hey, what is it this podcast gets released at, or what time does the podcast version of this get released? I think it's 10 Eastern. So I think it's like right when I'm off the air. I think the hour number 1. We don't do hour 2 and 3 because of the music stuff, but that's how it goes. Anyways, it's Freeform Friday, so let's talk about that. What does that mean? It means that today's the day that we talk about anything and everything that's going on. So don't worry about that. So you can take a look back and see what the hell we missed throughout the week. And in case you didn't notice, I was not here yesterday. And it's not that I didn't want to show up. They had that Republican primary discussion. When you stay up late sometimes, things just don't pan out the way that you thought that they would. So there you go. That happened Thursday night. Unspectacular planning on how the hell I was going to get here on Thursday, better saying. So yeah, that was Wednesday night. So Thursday, unspectacular planning in regards to getting everything set up. So everything's good. Don't worry. Don't have to worry about all that other tidbit of news. So just some things there. So with that being said, why don't we start talking right away about what the hell was trending in the overnight? Because I think that's a good idea.
Here is what was trending. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so what's on tap? Tickets for Free Festival or Fire Festival 2.0 have already sold out, and another historic landmark in Italy gets vandalized. We'll talk about more about that as we get into the shitlet. Britney Spears is still supporting her husband, and Angelina Jolie's new ink has been revealed. Is that newsworthy? A screenwriter shares the truth about working on the set with friends. So we'll talk about that probably more likely in hour 2 and 3, and then we'll talk about what the hell is going on inside of the world of the industry of what we do here in the world of safety. So just some stuff to talk about and think about and move around about and all that other kind of shit. Because why not talk about that stuff? So just some thingos for sure. So with that being said, why don't we move forward and bring in some of the professional newscasters that we have? Because, they're waiting in the wings. They're just sitting around waiting for them to jibber jabber and let us know what the hell's going on. And I don't have a problem with that. I think it's great. So right now, Mark's over there. Mark Mayfield. Mark's waiting. He wants to talk to you. He wants to tell you what's going on. He wants to tell you it's Freeform Friday, and these are the things that are happening, and this is what we're going to advance in doing. So what do you think? Are we good here? I think we are. So let's do the news right now.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
NBC News Radio, I'm Mark Mayfield. Donald Trump became the first former U.S. president with a mugshot. Trump went on Newsmax Thursday night to describe the brief booking process.
Terrible experience. I came in, I was treated very nicely, but it is what it is.
It was taken Thursday night during the booking process at Atlanta's Fulton County Jail and later released. Trump was charged for his alleged efforts to overturn the state's 2020 election. He was released on a $200,000 bond. The Trump campaign is now selling T-shirts with the mugshot for $47 with the words "Never Surrender" underneath. This was the fourth criminal case brought against the ex-president this year. Former President Trump may be headed back to Atlanta soon after yesterday's surrender at the Fulton County Jail. Unlike his other cases, Fulton County does not arraign a defendant on the same day that they're booked and processed at the jail. The arraignment where Trump would enter a plea in a courtroom happens at a later date. Atlanta prosecutors are pushing for the arraignment to happen the week of September the 5th, and Trump may be required once again to appear in person. The Maui government is suing a utility company over its alleged negligence that caused the recent deadly wildfires. Brian Shook reports.
A lawsuit filed Thursday claims Hawaiian Electric Company inexcusably kept their power lines energized earlier this month despite wind and fire warnings from forecasters. The National Weather Service cited that strong winds could knock down power lines and spark fires that would spread quickly due to dry conditions. I'm Brian Shook.
And West Nile virus is the leading cause of viral disease spread by insects in the U.S. That's according to a CDC study. Every state but one and Washington, D.C. reported more than 3,000 cases of the arboviral disease that occurred domestically. Just over 2,900 were West Nile virus, and 227 of them died. The disease spreads when mosquitoes bite infected birds and then people. You're listening to the latest from NBC News Radio.
Safety in a way never heard of before. The Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
U.S. officials say preliminary intelligence suggests that Russian mercenary leader Yevgeny Prigozhin was killed by an explosion on board his aircraft or some other form of sabotage. Ira Spencer says Russian President Vladimir Putin has addressed his rival's death for the first time.
Preliminary theories are that a bomb was placed on the Wagner mercenary group leader's private plane, causing it to crash northwest of Moscow, killing all 10 people on board, although they are exploring other angles as well. The Russian government has said it is investigating the crash, but hasn't offered an explanation yet. Putin called Prigozhin a talented person, but also said he had made some serious mistakes and offered condolences to the families of all 10 victims. Ira Spitzer, San Francisco.
Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell will be the headliner this morning at the Jackson Hole Economic Symposium in Wyoming. The annual gathering brings together central bankers and key financial officials from around the world. The stated topic of this year's event is a focus on structural shifts in the global economy. Powell is scheduled to speak at 10:05 a.m. Eastern. At least 2 school districts in eastern Kentucky canceled in-person classes this week after a rise in illnesses. Trey Thomas explains.
Officials say it's due to COVID, respiratory viruses, and strep among students and staff at Lee County and McGuffin County schools. Both districts have seen drops in attendance since the start of the school year. Lee County students who had COVID will be required to wear masks for 5 days when they return. In-person learning in both districts is set to resume on Monday. I'm Trey Thomas.
And a federal court judge has dismissed a challenge to a West Virginia law restricting an abortion pill. Drug maker Gen Biopro filed suit in January against West Virginia's restrictions on the abortion drug mifepristone. The company makes a generic version and argued that West Virginia's ban and other restrictions caused it significant ongoing economic injury. Mark Mayfield, NBC News Radio.
Listen to our host of the Rated R Safety Show self-implode on our airwaves, only on Safety FM.
This portion of the show has been sponsored by Private Internet Access, America's #1 virtual private network, or VPN. Even if you use incognito mode, internet service providers is storing your browser data and many times even selling it. But Private Internet Access, or PIA, can help you. PIA encrypts and reroutes your internet traffic through one of its own servers, hiding your data from your internet service provider or network admin. And with servers in over 75 countries, you can get unrestricted access to geo-blocked content from around the world. PIA comes with easy-to-use apps and browsers extension for all devices, a rock-solid privacy policy, open source security, advanced customization settings, and it was just ranked the fastest VPN in the world by PC Magazine. And if you sign up right now with PIA, you can take advantage of a special deal only for Safety FM listeners. Only by using the following link, you can get the digital privacy for less than $2 a month. Yes, you did hear me correctly, less than $2 a month, and an extra 4 months for free. So that means for only $1.98 a month and 83% off, you can get this service for you right now. That's so much more inexpensive than virtually every other VPN on the market. And if you get it right now, you can take PIA's 30-day risk-free challenge. You can try it out for 30 days, see if you like it, and if not, just return it for a full refund. So just go to safetyfm.com/VPN. That's safetyfm.com/VPN to try out the best VPN on the planet completely risk-free. Now remember, safetyfm.com/VPN.
Right now, our country feels divided, but there's a place where people are coming together.
I gotta tell you, I was nervous to talk to someone so different than me.
Me too, but I'm glad we are.
Love Has No Labels and One Small Step are helping people with different political views, beliefs, and life experiences come together through conversation, and it feels good.
Wow, your story is so...
Interesting?
Yeah.
When people actually sit down, talk, and listen to one another, they can break down boundaries and connect as human beings. At lovehasnolabels.com/onesmallstep, you can listen to amazing, life-changing conversations and find simple tools to start a conversation of your own.
I know one thing. This conversation gives me hope.
It gives me a lot of hope, too.
Take a step toward bringing our country and your community together by having the courage to start a conversation at lovehasnolabels.com/onesmallstep. A message from StoryCorps, Love Has No Labels, and the Ad Council.
People do some pretty cool things in their 40s and 50s. Why should saving for retirement be any different? I mean, they go back to college, learn new instruments, start skateboarding, Okay, maybe that one's not for everybody, but saving for retirement is. With aceyourretirement.org, you can get on track with your retirement savings no matter your age. Just have a 3-minute chat with Avo, the friendly digital retirement coach from AARP. You'll get personalized recommendations based on your input that are easy to understand and work with your lifestyle. It's quick, easy, and free. Plus, it's sponsored by AARP, so you know they got your back.
Gnarly move, Dad.
Thanks, sweetie.
So wherever you are in your retirement savings journey, head to aceyourretirement.org and start chatting with Avo today. That's aceyourretirement.org. A message from AARP and the Ad Council.
Safety in a way never heard of before. The Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Okay, there you go. 15 minutes past the top of the hour as you and I are hanging out on this lovely Friday. Yeah, fantastic it is, I will tell you. That Friday is so fantastic, it should be fantastico. Anyways, a court filing this week shows that a team overseeing FTF bankruptcy bills for about $1.5 million every day. Yeah, $1.5 million every day. Those fees are largely paid by whatever asset FTX had left and those that they continue to recover. While the total fees are so far crossed well into the 9-figure range, the bankruptcy team has recovered billions of dollars. Worth noting, all the money paid to the recovery team is money that won't be to the people that lost the money in the fraud. Even then, the government gets the first of the line of unpaid taxes. So just keep that in mind. So even with the onslaught of billions of dollars, somebody always has the first thing to do. Now, I will tell you, when I used to actually handle a lot of accidents that were related to accidents that were on the roadway, if you had anything where you spilled fuel on the road, the people inside of the local government always try to go after it first because they had to cut out part of what the ground was. Part of the pavement, and replace that piece of the pavement. And if they got to everything else first, well, you know that the people that were injured or anything else that was inside of that insurance claim more than likely weren't going to get paid out unless they were suing. I know, kind of weird, but I guess it's topical to talk about. I know, Freeform Friday, you're supposed to keep it, kind of copacetic and nice, but, sometimes we have to talk about some other things. Anyways, take a listen to this. Netflix cracked down on password sharing and it appears to be working for their bottom line. After a stagnant and dwindling subscriber number, the streaming platform added 2.6 million subscribers in July, driving the increase that was upticked in people purchasing the advertising tier for $7 a month, plus ads and play before and during movies and shows. By the way, you can still share passwords to use an account across multiple households, but it'll cost you $8 extra a month. So what do you think? What do you think? Some interesting stuff, huh? Some interesting stuff-o to talk about. Oh, that is for sure. Oh, see? There's a lot of O's in the stuff. Anyways, the first round of tickets for the revamped Fire Festival have already sold out, despite no official date or specific location announced. Only 100 tickets were included in the first round of selling for up to $8,000. A video posted on Wednesday by convicted fraudster and event organizer Billy McFarland said that this week had changed the life of nearly 7,000 people that are already on the wait list. He said that tickets will be available for further details as they announce as a team in the locations of the programming. So what do you think about this? Is it one of those things that you go, who in the hell would want to do this? Or do you kind of go, hey, that's great. I mean, that's some great information in regards of what's going on. I mean, I don't know. I think it's kind of a weirdy one, but people will do what they think. So take a listen to this. The Vasari Corridor in Italy is the latest historical marker to be hit by vandals. According to the Italian authorities, 2 German tourists ages 20 and 21 were arrested after spray painting slogans for a Munich soccer team on the side of the 460-year-old landmark in Florence. Italy culture minister wants an example to be made of the two, saying that enough with the symbolic punishment. We need a hard fist of the law. According to the Italian law, acts of vandalism fall under aggravated damage, which carries a maximum sentence of 3 years and will likely be a fine imposed as well of damages to the cost of repair, which will be about $10,800. The latest vandalism comes after 2 tourists were caught carving their names into the Coliseum. I just don't get it. It's like, I've never been somewhere where I go, you know what? I really think I need to carve my name into this shit because it just seems like something cool to do. It's very odd to me. Take a listen to this one. Have you ever wondered how many times you're supposed to wipe after going number 2? Well, an Australian pelvic expert has the answer. On a TikTok video, there has been viewed 4.5 million times. Let's see. The expert says that 2 wipes should be all you need. Even if it takes more than that, chances are that you have a condition called fecal smearing, which is when too much fecal matter stays at the entrance of the anus after you finish the poo. To reduce the number of wipes that you need, the expert says, squeeze your anus 4 times with an increased force each time after emptying your bowel. This will help close off the anus sphincter and eliminate the need to extra wiping. This is all via TikTok. How do we even get this? I would normally say, how do we get this shit? But I think we kind of already know that answer. So there you go. Some very interesting times. Talking about crap, I don't know. It gets weird. Let's do this. Let's change subjects. Let's talk about the market beat. Let's bring some John Smalls into our life because I think that's going to be way more important than anus squeezing.
Here's your Market Beat Minute, brought to you by GenesisGoldIRA.com. If you're interested in what's happening in the financial world, you can sign up to get up-to-date information sent directly to you at MarketBeatMinute.com. MarketBeat offers a variety of ways to get updates sent directly to your inbox, so you can get the inside track from Wall Street's brightest minds. If you're an investor, or if you've even considered dipping your toes into the investment waters, the valuable information you get from MarketBeatMinute.com may help you a little bit more. MarketBeat has been an Inc. 500 company for the last 8 consecutive years. Less than 1% of companies achieve that. MarketBeat publishes stock market news to over 3.5 million investors daily. You can be added to that growing list for free at MarketBeatMinute.com, helping you get the inside track from Wall Street's brightest minds every day, sent right to your inbox. You can start now at MarketBeatMinute.com. That's MarketBeatMinute.com.
Okay, so there you go. I don't think that was the one I was supposed to play, but I guess I did, and that's not the information we wanted. Anyways, the Dow was down 374 points to close at 34,099 on Thursday. The S&P dropped about 59 points to close at 4,376, and the Nasdaq went down 257 points to close at 13,463. West Texas Intermediate closed at $79 a barrel, and Brent crude was at $83 a barrel. The national average price of a gallon of gas was $3.83 on Thursday. Bitcoin slid down more than 1.1%, trading just at 26,113, and there was more than 3,690 flights delayed within, into, and out of the United States on Thursday, and more than 261 cancellations. Tonight's Mega Million drawing will be for $52 million jackpot, or a $24.6 million cash payout. Saturday night's Powerball drawing will be for a $345 million cash payout, or a $165.5 million cash payout. So there you go, jackpot payout. I mean, I get them all mixed up when it's all said and done. No doubt about that. So what do you think? So there you go. So let's talk about this because it is about the king and his family. So there you go. Priscilla Presley says that she's never on a bad terms with granddaughter Riley Keough during their battle over Lisa Marie Presley estate. Remember, Priscilla contested her daughter's will, which had Riley listed as the sole trustee. Riley is now the executor, which should be right, obviously, being that Lisa Marie's daughter Riley and I are on good terms. We were never not on good terms. Priscilla recently told The Hollywood Reporter. This is via Hollywood Reporter, so I guess that helps. So there you go. Anyways, the mysterious ink on Angelina Jolie's middle finger has been revealed, and after fans speculated that it was designed as an FU to ex-husband Brad Pitt, celebrity tattoo artist Mr. K revealed that it was nothing to do with him. Jolie's new finger tat is a dagger designed to look like a piercing than her skin. As a symbolism, sources say that the actress is a collector of knives, particularly daggers. So there you go. I guess that's important. Anyways, take a listen to this. Billie Eilish stunned fellow passengers when she chose to fly commercial rather than chartering her own private plane. No word where she was headed, but fans were quick to compliment her choice of travel. For what it's worth, about $30 million or so, her flying private jet would be doable. So think about that. Wow, that's kind of interesting that this becomes a news story. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, let's talk about this news story because she decided to fly normal. Anyways, take a listen. Former President Trump may be headed back to Atlanta soon after Thursday's surrender in Fulton County Jail. Charlie Shaw is the local bail bondsman who handled Trump's $200,000 bail.
It was a historical experience, one that I've never experienced before and probably never will again in my life. So, a very serious experience, an experience we had to get it done right, and I think we did.
So hold on, dude. The other bails that you do they not have to be done right? I mean, I'm confused on that one. Unlike his other cases, Fulton County does not arraign defendants on the same day and booked and processed at the jail. The arraignment where Trump entered a plea in the courtroom happens later date. Atlanta prosecutors are pursuing for an arraignment to happen the week of September the 5th, and Trump may be required to once again appear. Bail bondsman Charlie Shaw isn't worried about losing money.
I think this is probably the most secured bond that I've ever executed in my entire career.
So there you go. Executing some bonds. Keeping it cool. Anyways, more details are coming to light after a gunman killed 3 people and wounded 6 at a restaurant and a bar in Orange County, California. Orange County District Attorney Todd Spitzer says that the site of the shooting, Cook's Corner in Tribeca Canyon, has a place in his heart.
This is personal. I am one of those bikers. I am one of those people that would often go on Wednesday nights to spaghetti night. I am one of those people who understand how the county and the canyons are grieving.
The shooter was retired Ventura police sergeant. The 59-year-old man was a police officer between 1986 and 2014. Authorities say on Wednesday night that the man walked into Cook's Corner and shot his soon-to-be ex-wife without saying a word, then started shooting other people near her. The shooter's estranged wife survived and is conscious and speaking at the hospital. The man was killed in a shootout with Orange County Sheriff's deputies after walking out to his truck to retrieve 2 more guns. 4 guns were recovered at the scene. Spitzer says the community will not be broken by the tragedy.
Nothing that happened is going to ruin either the canyon, its austerity, its prominence, or Cook's Corner.
It's one of those very weird things to hear about. I mean, let's just be realistic in regards of how heartbreak causes people to go this far. It's just the most odd thing as we start talking about it. And of course, I'm probably talking off my rocker because that's what happens. But just think about it. All of a sudden, you're pursuing your ex because things didn't work out, and this is what you designed. This is what you decided to do.
We at Safety FM are not responsible for what this idiot behind the microphone is saying. He is trying to be entertaining. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, the three people that have been charged with the abduction of the Livonia of the 14-day-old twin boys from the hotel on August the 20th. 23-year-old Chantel Jones, 18-year-old Curtis Slay, and 19-year-old Davison Chandler are facing 8 charges, and the judge has ordered them to be held pending trial.
Bond in this matter is denied. This matter is extremely serious, according to the allegations.
Officials say that Jones made friends with the boys' moms, and Slay and Chandler helped her to get access to the kids with the express intent of kidnapping them, according to Wayne County prosecutor Kim Worthy. A 4th person arrested is a minor, and the decision on charges will be released next week. The twins are back with their parents, and they're unharmed. The judge has ordered the 3 suspects in the abduction of the newborns in Livonia be held without bond.
The first 2 counts of the complaint, actually the first 3 counts of the complaint, involve the possibility of life in prison.
So there you go. A lot of interesting stuff as we are talking. The Pentagon says that Wagner Group leader, let's see if we don't butcher this, Yevgeny Gon, was likely killed in a private plane crash. NBC's Richard Engel reports that the Russian President Vladimir Putin made his first remarks after the crash.
Putin offered his condolences and said that Russian investigators need more time to learn all the facts. But the U.S. military is now saying that it was likely an act of sabotage, that this was no accident, that the plane didn't just fall out of the sky.
General Pat Ryder, however, said that there is no evidence at this time that the plane was taken down by the surface of an air missile. The mercenary leader who led an aborted revolt against Putin earlier this year died on Wednesday. So let's see. He openly mocked Putin over the handling of the Ukraine war, and there was speculation that Putin would soon retaliate. So there you go. A lot of stuff going on there. Here's this one coming out of Olive Township, Michigan. Ottawa County Administrative Health Officer Adeline Hembler says the budget that she stumbled yesterday to the county's administrator, John Gibbs, will close her health department within weeks. She had to limit the budget to $2.5 million and says that every public health program will be at risk under the reasonable general fund budget and allocation.
It's just not possible. This funding request at this level is a real threat to public health and safety in our community.
Hamler says the budget cuts is significant and retaliatory for her lawsuit against the county commissions for trying to fire her. She says that if they maintain the essential services mandated by Public Health Administration, the department would close by the end of October. And the other option is to put money in the essential services that don't charge fees, like immunizations and waivers, hearing screenings, vision screenings, sexual transmitted disease testing, and treatment, and the Communicable Disease Program. They would only last 7 weeks after October the 1st. Ottawa County Administrative Health Officer Adeline Hambler says that her office will need to close within 7 weeks due to the massive budget cuts. Listen.
We're left with about $585,000 for our program delivery and services to the community.
So there you go. A lot of interesting stuff going on there, no doubt about that. The Troy School District has hired a director of safety and security. Todd Gilvich, with the Secure Education Consultant, has been hired as a contract employee with the responsibility of managing security of District 21 building.
One of the biggest things we saw after COVID that actually benefited security was that we're trying to limit the amount of people that come into our building.
He says there's an emergency that creates a lockdown. Classroom doors will set to lock. Security cameras are now in the building, and night locks are in place. The state is helping to fund the position. Troy's School District Director of Safety and Security, Todd Gilder, says that they are boosting the efforts to keep everyone safe.
Some of the other things we've also done is with we've had new cameras added for access. It's basically our security cameras that we use.
So there you go. Some changes going on in the school district as we are talking. So there you go. Some stuff going on right there as things are happening. No doubt about that. Anyways, it is 32 minutes past the top of the hour. We would normally do on every other day a main story, but it's Freeform Friday.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
From FSN in London, I'm Nina Maria Potts for the latest world news. Moscow says it fended off 42 drones launched by Ukraine over occupied Crimea overnight. At the same time, there are still questions surrounding the reported death of the leader of the Wagner mercenary group, Yevgeny Prigozhin, with speculation that an explosion on board the plane he was on was the likely cause. Ukraine has denied any involvement in the crash. Greece has arrested 79 alleged arsonists over devastating wildfires across the country. Officials say there have been several attempted arson attacks in new fires northwest of Athens. Wildfires, not just in Greece, but across southern Europe, have been linked to climate change and extreme weather patterns. Greece has told alleged arsonists that they've been committing crimes against the country. Donald Trump has turned himself in to authorities in Fulton County, Georgia, to face charges of conspiring to overturn the 2020 presidential election, along with 18 co-defendants. The former president, who remains the front-runner for the Republican presidential nomination, was released after posting a $200,000 US bail bond. Correspondent Ira Spitzer explains what happens next.
Well, Donald Trump's mugshot is currently making its way around the world as we process this historic and unprecedented situation in the U.S. state of Georgia. And the next step for Trump and his 18 co-defendants is to actually be arraigned and enter a plea on these charges, and we expect that to happen likely the week after next. Now, the actual trial date is a bit unclear. The Fulton County District Attorney, Fani Willis, had initially proposed a date of March 4th, which would actually be the day before Super Tuesday, which is the biggest day in the party's presidential nominating process. However, then one of Trump's co-defendants earlier asked for his trial date to be moved up to October 23rd. He has the right to request a speedy trial. So that was granted by the judge. The district attorney had initially wanted to charge Trump and the co-defendants at the same time. So we'll see how that plays out. Another option that could happen here is some of those co-defendants are trying to have the case moved to a federal court. So if that were to happen, and if Trump's case were to be moved, then the timeline from the state court would essentially become moot.
Japan is calling on China to better understand the science behind its controversial nuclear wastewater discharge. Beijing has banned all seafood from Japan in protest over the country's release of treated water into the ocean. From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks, looking again today at the fallout from the apparent death of Wagner Group founder Yevgeny Prigozhin and his top deputy, both of them among the dead on board a private plane that the US Defense Department says was targeted by a bomb on board. It was flying from Moscow to St. Petersburg at the time of the crash. What does all this mean for the future of the brutal mercenaries that Prigozhin deployed in a wide variety of different theatres, including conflicts in Africa and, of course, Ukraine? With the US government's view, Brigadier General Patrick Ryder, the Pentagon spokesman.
Look, I'd refer you to the Wagner Group if you're able to get in touch with them for any questions on what their current business model and path forward is. We've seen the Russian government shortly after the events near Moscow 2 months ago say to some of these members, sign a contract with the Ministry of Defense. But as it relates to the future of this mercenary company, I really don't have anything to provide.
The aircraft carrying Prigozhin was sanctioned by the US in 2019. A flight attendant on board tweeted that the plane's departure had been delayed by unspecified repairs, stoking speculation that it was blown out of the skies on Vladimir Putin's orders. With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks.
And a reminder now of the hour's top story. Donald Trump has turned himself in to authorities in Fulton County, Georgia, to face charges of conspiring to overturn the 2020 presidential election, along with 18 co-defendants. The former president, who remains the frontrunner for the Republican presidential nomination, was released after posting a $200,000 US bail bond. And that's the latest world news. From Feature Story News in London, I'm Nina Maria Potts.
This show is almost as enjoyable as hearing the sound of the toilet flush. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Well, you know that here at Safety FM and Radio Big, we're always trying to look for life hacks. So with the busy season just around the corner, you might be looking for wholesome, convenient meals for your jam-packed days. Factor, America's #1 ready-to-eat meal kits, can help you fuel up with fast chef prepared, dietitian approved, and ready-to-eat meals delivered straight to your door. You'll save time, eat well, and stay on track with your healthy lifestyle. Refresh your healthy habits without missing a beat. Choose from 34 weekly flavored packs. Dietitian-approved meals ready to eat in 2 minutes. All you need to do is head over to factorsmeals.com/safetyfm50 and use code safetyfm50 to get 50% off. That's code safetyfm50 at factormeals.com/safetyfm50 to get 50% off. Go there. Do it now.
Hey, Dad, your prescription will be ready in just a minute. Hey, Dad, your laundry will be ready in just a minute. Dad, your lunch will be ready in just a minute.
Hey, honey, why don't you take a minute? When you help care for a loved one, you give them as much time as you can, making sure they're safe and comfortable. But it's just as important that you take some time for yourself. At AARP, we can help with information and useful tips on how you can maintain a healthy life balance, care for your own physical and mental well-being, and manage the challenges of caring for a loved one. Because the better care you take of yourself, the better care you can provide for your loved one.
Thanks, Dad.
Thank you. You're there for them. We're here for you. Find free care guides to support you and your loved one at aarp.org/caregiving. That's aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
All right, class. Let's hear what everyone did this weekend. Jill?
Well, I raised my older sister to a big oak tree. It was at least 100 years old. My mom said I must have set a record or something. And then we went down by a stream and perched up on this huge rock and saw all of these little minnows swimming around way below us. And then I rescued my little brother from an evil slug king who was guarding him at the bush fortress. And my sister and I brought him back to our super twig fort for safety. And then we all laid out and told stories until it got dark. And the Big Dipper led us all the way home. Wow, awesome. Where were you, Jill? Yeah. We went to the forest. It's not that far away. Anyone want to come this weekend?
Ask your parents to take you and your friends to the forest this week and find the fun, adventurous you. It's closer than you think. Check out discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Let's start using cutting-edge warp speed 5G technology with your cell phone. Let me tell you about my friends at mobile.io. They have an ultra-fast 4G LTE and 5G network that covers 99% of Americans. So they've got you covered everywhere. Think about it for a moment. You have the opportunity to take a test drive for 10 days with unlimited talk, text, and premium data. What is premium data? Premium data is an allotment of a cellular data that you receive from a higher priority on the network. You won't get throttled like you will with some of those, well, non-brand service providers. To find out more information, all you have to do is go to mobilemobile.io. That's mobilemobile.io to start your 10-day free trial.
Hello.
We're rocking all day at work because we don't give a duck. Autocorrect probably just saved my ass there.
Like I give a flying, you know.
Okay, there you go. 43 minutes past the top of the hour as we are hanging out. This right here is the Rated R Safety Show. The song you're listening to, Nikki Lanotti with The River, also known as Freedom. Available on Apple Music, YouTube Music, and Spotify, if you want to give it a little downloady-ody action. We would like to thank Nikki Lanotti for allowing us to play this here. Something a little different for this Friday. So we get to hang out and take a listen to that. So there you go. Always some newer style music as we are hanging on these lovely Fridays and Thursdays and Tuesdays and Wednesdays and, Mondays, because we like to do the different kind of music. No doubt about that. So let's talk real quick about the most important thing that I will ever tell you in my lifetime. And that's about my friends at To Write Love on Her Arms. No matter what you are facing, you deserve to be connected to help. To Write Love on Her Arms wants you to know that people have been where you are now and things can be better. Healing is possible. To find out more information, all you have to do is go to TWLOHA.com. That's TWLOHA.com to find out some more information. Listen, if you click on the section that says Find Help, all kinds of stuff there. It goes from anything from scholarships to international resources, suggest a program, frequently asked questions, to immediate help, crisis text line across several different countries, the Trans Lifeline, the Trevor Project, the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline, just to name a few. So all kinds of stuff and resources there for you. No doubt about that. So you can take a look-see of what is going on. So just keep that in mind. TWLOHA.com. That's TWLOHA.com for some more information. To Write Love on Her Arms. Let's continue talking about some other things that are going on as we are hanging out on this lovely Friday of August the 25th. So take a listen to this. If you're looking for new movies, we got some of those. Retribution Rated R comes out today. While driving his children to a school, bank executive receives information that his cars will explode if they stop or get out. That comes out today. Gran Turismo, based on the true story of a teenager from Gran Turismo player whose gaming skills won a series of competitions, leading to him becoming an actual professional race car driver. So that one's out today. In The Hill, the remarkable true story of Ricky Hill's improbable journey to play Major League Baseball despite being burdened with leg braces and with degenerative spinal disease. So those are all out today if you want to take a look at that. So there you go. Take a listen to this. New research shows that a connection between consumption of highly processed foods and elevated mental duress in a life, says the Melbourne Collaborative Cohort Study. Researchers looked into how fatty foods later impacted the teenagers aged between 13 and 17 as a baseline, and they checked with the subjects years later and found that the participants with the highest intake of ultra-processed food had increased odds of elevated psychological distress. Those who ate the most ultra-processed foods were found to be the most likely to experience distress at the age of 15 years. As a 15-year follow-up, the distress was described by a study marker for depression. Research also says the University of British Columbia looked into the impact of exercise apps on the mental health of users and discovered that using them while participating in a simple home workout can help reduce symptoms of depression. The scientists said that the study participants, most of them female nurses, reported significantly levels of depressive symptoms compared to controlled groups that did not exercise. The study author says the changes were actually quite amazing. I noticed that the same results were mostly because I was looking at my phone while exercising, not in the mirror. Hey, just some stuff to talk about. Think about it in that fashion instead. So there you go. Have you ever told a guest to make yourself at home and regretted it later? Well, 2/3 of us have. According to a new study, the poll of 2,000 Americans also asked the host what regrettable behavior caused a problem for them. The more common one involved a guest experiencing more meals than planned, 54%, overstaying their welcome, 45%, and making a mess, 39%. Friends were found to be the worst guests, mentioned by 42% of survey responders, and they were also closely followed by siblings, 39%, and in-laws by 37%. Just over 1/3 of people in the one poll survey admitted that at some point they have all had to tell someone that they're a bad guest. I've done that. I have to do that, of course, right after being told that I'm a bad host. So if both friends and relatives tend to be bad guests, who exactly are they supposed to invite over? I mean, I'm just saying. Just some stuff to think about. Makes you question some things, right? So there you go. There you go. Take a listen to this one. A small town in France has gone viral out for making a busy intersection with overlapping white lines in order to confuse motorists and force them to slow down. The town of Bonn is the home of about 1,700 people, but it deals with heavy traffic on a daily basis because the location is near two major roads. Some of them, roughly 2,300 vehicles pass through every day, reach speeds of 100 kilometers, which is 60 miles per hour. Though the town has clearly marked up the speed limit signs to 30 kilometers per hour, which is 18 miles per hour, the local authorities came up with the idea of using confusing road markings to form overlapping continuous lines, and it worked. It created a bit of parallel parking issues, though. So keep that in mind. So I don't know. Do you think that's the best approach? I don't know. Just something to think about. A Georgia man has been arrested for stealing his neighbor's front porch. Yeah, Robin Swinger is facing felony charges after allegedly somehow moving and taking ownership of an 8x10 porch from a property near his, which says that he thought was abandoned. Investigators claimed that no trespassing signs were posted at the yard where the wooden porch was stolen. The literal porch pirate. I mean, think about that. A literal porch pirate. Nothing else to talk about there.
You are listening to a radio god. What? This has to be an error. That host is not a radio god. Anyways, this is the Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Oh, there you go. Some stuff to talk about. Should we do a weather update? Yeah, let's do a weather update because there's all kinds of interesting stuff always going on. Here's Mike Ellis with the latest weather update.
Once again, dangerous and even life-threatening heat headlines our national weather picture. Highs in the 90s and over 100 will tie or break records along the Gulf Coast and up through the Midwest. The highest set of record temperatures today will likely be found in the mid-Mississippi Valley. Over the next 2 or 3 days, same story. Thankfully, we do see at least some relief today and tomorrow for the upper Midwest, but still many parts of the nation facing just terribly hot and humid weather. A reminder again, heat is the biggest killer in the weather department each year in the U.S., so be cautious, take proper precautions, duck into a cool spot as often as you can, and remember to stay hydrated. The remains of Harold, still over the southern plains, will bring showers and heavy thunderstorms to parts of the central and southern Rockies and the plains this afternoon. Flash flooding could occur in Colorado, Wyoming, Nebraska, and Kansas, and some showers and heavy thunderstorms in the northeast today. That's your national weather forecast. Mike Ellis, NBC News Radio.
Okay, thank you, Mike, for that one. Let's do this real quick. Let's bring some John Smalls back in here, and let's do the Motivation Minute.
The Motivation Minute is courtesy of InsuranceChicken.com. Today's quote was submitted by Ty. Sam Levinson said, "Don't watch the clock. Do what it does. Keep going." I love that. I've never really been a clock watcher, but my wife and I started our own company in 2010. When we brought on a team of people, we had this guy who would pull up into the parking lot a little bit before 8 a.m. He would sit in his car until exactly 8. Then, towards the end of the day, he would tidy up his office starting at about 4:45, and he'd walk out at exactly 5 p.m. I told him, "You don't need to worry about the time. I come in early and I leave late." And he said, "Yeah, but you own the company." Then I replied, "That's why we own the company." I did that for others my entire career, and eventually that led to my family doing our own thing. Don't be a clock watcher. This has been today's Motivation Minute, courtesy of InsuranceChicken.com. They're known for insurance quotes. I'm John Small. Thanks for listening. Your favorite motivational quotes can be submitted for upcoming programs at motivationminute.org.
COVID is affecting the health of patients even 2 years after they've gotten the virus. That's the bottom line of a 2-year study conducted by researchers at Washington University. The study compared health outcomes of over 138,000 patients who had the virus with 6 million people who had not. They monitored the development of over 80 health conditions, and they found that those who had COVID have a greater risk of developing heart failure, lung conditions, and diabetes. Well, for the first time this this year, West Nile virus has been detected in people and in mosquito pools in New York City. Health officials have confirmed 3 cases, and they're investigating a possible 4th. Nationally, there have been 247 confirmed cases and 13 deaths this year. The CDC says you can protect yourself by emptying standing water outside and by using insect repellent, especially at dawn and dusk. Health updates, Sarah Lee Kessler, NBC News Radio.
Hello, I'm Richard Exley with your 1-minute devotion. What is the worst thing you ever did? What is the one thing you hope no one ever finds out about? When you have that evil deed fixed in your mind, I want you to ask yourself if God can forgive you. David says, God does not treat us as our sins deserve, or repay us according to our iniquities. For as high as the heavens are above the earth, so great is his love for those who fear him. As far as the east is from the west, so far has he removed our transgressions from us. That's Psalm 103. Lord Jesus, help us to remember that your grace is greater than our sin, that you are always more ready to forgive us than we are to seek your forgiveness. In your holy name I pray. Amen. If these devotions are a blessing and an encouragement to you, you can subscribe at oneminutedevotion.com.
It's this show, and they just make fun of a whole bunch of people. It's just too funny. It's too stupid.
Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, there you go. Rated R Safety Show as we are hanging out and doing all the fun stuff that we get to do, no doubt about that. So take a listen. Let's take a look at the things that happened back on this date. Back in 2017, Hurricane Harvey makes landfall in Texas, northeast of Corpus Christi. The Category 4 hurricane produces 130 mile per hour winds, caused catastrophic flooding. It tied the 2005 Hurricane Katrina as the costliest tropical cyclone, inflicting $125 billion worth of damage. So there you go. Now let's take a look real quick at some birthdays that are going on today. Blake Lively turns 36. Rachel Gleason turns 42. Kel Mitchell turns 45. Claudia Schiffer 53. Rachel Ray turns 55. Tom Hollander 56. Billy Ray Cyrus turns 62. Tim Burton 65. And Gene Simmons, yeah, he turned 74 today. If you're looking at some days of the year to celebrate, I have some of those for you. It's National Kiss and Makeup Day. It's National Whiskey Sour Day and National Banana Split Day. I have a feeling that if you put those in a different sequence of order, they might be a little bit more interesting to celebrate, but we can leave that for a whole other conversation as we move forward. Anyways, before I forget, if you did not know, let me tell you about this. The Conklin Conference taking place September the 27th through the 29th. It's a Safety Differently workshop. If you want to come and hang out and take a look at what the hell is going on, you have the opportunity to come hang out with Jen Long, Bob Edwards, Mark Yeston, and Andrea Baker. Of course, Todd Conklin will be there, and yours truly will be hosting. To find out more information, all you have to do is go to safetyfm.io. That's safetyfm.io for some more information on what is going on. September the 27th through the 29th. In Gidel, Orlando, Florida. safetyfm.io. Just as a friendly reminder. So let's continue on before we get you the hell out of here. If you need a random joke for today, I'm sure I can give you one of those, because why would you not want a random joke? So here you go. Every dead body on Mount Everest was once a highly motivated person, so maybe calm down. That's a little rough. If you need a phone starter for today, try this. What's the best concert you've been to and what made it so good? If you need a question for the water cooler, try this. 33% of wedding DJs say that they have seen this at a wedding. What is it? A fist fight. A fist fight. Out of all things to think about. Anyways, thanks for hanging out and taking a listen to what the hell we have going on, because, I always appreciate the time that you and I get to spend together. It is always importante to do so. God willing, I will be back on Monday for us to do it all over again. If you want to come and hang out and listen to the next couple hours of what the hell we have going on, all you have to do is go to radiobig.fm, as I will be doing the stuff about music and entertainment. You can come and hang out there. If not, if you want to take a listen to what the hell Sheldon Primus has going on, he'll be doing the World of Safety Consulting here in the next little bit. All you have to do is hang out here on Safety FM, and that will take care of it. Anyways, thank you for always being the best part of Safety FM, and that is the listener. Without you, it doesn't make a lot of sense to do what we do around here. If I can't leave you with a deep thought for today, I would love to leave you with this one. Happiness comes in waves. If it's not there now, it'll find you again. Keep that in mind. Anyways, I know who you are.
Duh.
You know who I am. Love you, mean it, and goodbye.
The views and opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the host and its guest and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the company. Examples of analysis discussed within this podcast are only examples. They should not be utilized in the real world as the only solution available, as they are based only on very limited and dated open source information. Assumptions made within this analysis are not reflective of the position of the company. No part of this podcast may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, mechanical, electronic, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of the creator of the podcast, Jay Allen.